in American history, the largest spending cut in American history, the most deregulation in American history, and the largest border security investment in American history. We passed the Rescissions Act of 2025, slashing nearly $10 billion of waste, and we have numerous other rescissions coming up. As long as we continue to keep our promises to the voters, Americans will continue to stand by our side. And in 2026, the Republican majority, I think, is going to be stronger in both the House and the Senate.
All right, there you have it. Pretty good montage of what he's been saying. So, Senator Tuberville, I think one of the themes here, this is something we've talked about. This Victor Davis Hanson has been writing about this. The experts were wrong. Trump got this stuff done, okay? And they said, you know, in particular, the southern border, which is virtually flat now, virtually empty, no crossings. We didn't need new legislation, right? Remember that push? We just needed somebody who was tough enough to enforce the laws. Let's start with that one, okay? Immigration, how about that? Maybe his greatest achievement.
Well, you're exactly right. And one of the repercussions of the immigration stoppage of keeping very few illegals coming to our country, Larry, we're saving $40 billion to this point in this budget, $40 billion, and that's going to count up. We could not afford for Kamala Harris to win this election because it would have been a disaster just for the immigration alone, which would just stair-step everything to becoming a disaster in this country when it comes to the economy.
And, you know, Senator, the Democrats have to be crazy and just out of their minds to oppose this, okay? They're still they're still in the business of defending sanctuary cities and of defending the worst of the worst criminals. And we just had this awful shooting of a border agent in New York City, and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem correctly just blasted New York City Democrats. They got a mayor, the socialist mayor, communist mayor, whatever he is, Mandami the commie. He wants to keep ICE agents out. He wants to keep Netanyahu out. He wants to keep Trump out. I mean, how can the Democrats be so stupid? I call them experts. They're really just deep state people who are just on the wrong side of all these issues.
Well, the wrong side, and that's the side that they can only reach to, Larry, for votes. They have to have votes, and they're looking for somewhere to get votes. This sanctuary city nonsense, it's unlawful. People are going to get hurt more and more, you know, when you hang out with these sanctuary cities. But you know, all they're doing is pushing socialism, and socialism is it's communism without a gun at the end of the day. And so we need to understand the direction this country is going if the Democrats have an opportunity to get a leg back into this country in terms of leadership. That's not going to happen. President Trump, as you just said, I was at that dinner in the White House Friday night when President Trump was going through all those wins that we've had. It's just amazing to me. It takes so long to go through them. You know, our dinner got cold. But at the end of the day, it was so fun to listen to all that. It's just amazing what he's done in 6 months.
So the experts are wrong. Tariffs are not inflationary. Real wages are actually going up. The stock market is now hitting new record highs. I believe today both the NASDAQ and the S&P hit new record highs. But here's one for you, which I think is very important. In 6 months, military recruitment, new military recruitment. Pete Hegseth, Defense Secretary, Donald Trump, President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief. New military recruitment has gone sky high, record levels. What do you make of that, Senator?
Well, I tell you what, people, these young men and women are feeling good about our country again. They're not being told that they're woke and they need to be social justice warriors. They're doing it for the right thing. They're doing it to protect our country. But it's also a great way to get an education. It's a great job. But it wasn't sold that way by the Democrats. It was sold by the Democrats as, hey, be part of basically a clown show. And that's what it was turning into. I'm on armed services. I'd never seen anything like the recruiting that was going on. The books that our generals were telling our troops to read, whether it was on ships or in some of these camps, it just amazed me the direction we were going.
Well, here's another one then. We obliterated Iran. But the deep state experts said, no, 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 if we hit Iran, it would cause a massive blow up and war throughout the Middle East and the rest of the world. What I don't see is any of that stuff. In fact, I guess we're at a ceasefire de facto, if not de jure. But the point is, he obliterated the Iran nuclear program. None of them under the Bidens or the Obamas or anybody else had the backbone, I'll call it, to do such a thing. You know what I mean? Here, tough wins, okay? Tough always wins.
Yeah, President Trump's a peacemaker. He understands. He understands sometimes you have to take the tough decision. Don't listen to everybody else around you. Go by your instincts. He understood that, hey, there is no possible way we can allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And if they're getting this close, as his experts were telling him, we've got to do something. And so go in, go out. He set them back probably a year and a half, 2 years. They can always build back. But who's to say we won't go back in there in 2 years and destroy it again? And it's cost them $1 trillion to build this infrastructure up. Iran will eventually fold if we continue this progress in terms of letting the people over there know, the good people of Iran know that, hey, we're behind you. You just need to run this regime out of town and let us help you. Here's another one. No men in women's sports. How about that? Common sense, you wouldn't have thought. This was like a major battle. A major battle. This is like the Democrats' last stand. But no men in women's sports. Yeah. Of course, I've been on this ever since it started. This was my first vote when I got here 4 years ago, and had no Democrats in 4 years vote on any of my bills about no men in women's sports. It's absolutely insane of what they've tried to do, and it's an attack on women. And it doesn't. I don't understand this. I must be talking to people from a different planet sometimes when they talk about they need the opportunity to do whatever they want to do. No, they don't. Men and women have separate identities in terms of physical ability, and they need to be separate in sports, and that's the reason we've had it this way for 249 years. How about this one? I didn't put it in my riff, but all right, fancy colleges and universities, no more anti-Semitism, no more racism, no more affirmative action. And if you don't play ball, you're going to lose your grants, your federal grants. Now, that is a tough president doing the right thing, is he not? Exactly. Our education is going to hell in a handbasket. And here's the reason why. It's become a business, Larry. It's become a business of making money and doing things to where they can pay their presidents $2 or $3 million each and have their private planes. It's really gone overboard. But let me give you one. 35 to 40% of the companies in this country have cut out this poison that we're putting in our food. And of all the people I talked to, this is one of the major wins that President Trump's had. We don't talk about it enough. I'm having dinner with Dr. Oz and some of the people of Maha tonight, and it's going to be a celebration of making a lot of progress in just a short period of time and cleaning up our food. Well, I love that. Look, we had Bobby Kennedy on the show. He was absolutely terrific. I got to stop eating ice cream because they have all these weird dyes. I can't do that anymore. I'm going to stick to my... Eat vanilla. Eat vanilla, Larry. I don't know, even vanilla. I can't be sure anymore. He shook everybody up. But finally, Senator, and this is a tragic today, a Border Patrol agent got shot in New York City. I think 2 people, all right? Kristi Noem, DHS Secretary Noem, is blasting. This is part of the New York City problem. This is part of the Sanctuary City problem. This is part of the Blue City Democratic problem. This is Mandami the commie problem. He's going to make it worse. I mean, this poor guy got shot for no good reason. Now, this stuff has got to stop. It really does have to stop. And again, law enforcement, Customs Border Patrol, whoever is in authority, protect yourself. President Trump has given them authority to protect themselves. It's unfortunate this young person got shot in the face, my understanding. Hope he's fine. But again, this is not going to be the end of it, Larry. It's going to get worse and worse as we go from here. But they have to protect themselves, give them the right to shoot back if they shoot at them. And thank God this happened. And so let me ask you, I mean,
Democrats defunding the police again. I haven't heard that. This is what Mandami the commie wants to do. Defund the police, put social workers in their place. By the way, he's got a clone who just got the Democratic nomination for mayor out in Minneapolis. This is unbelievable to me. How can they actually argue that? You got your Mayor Bass, you got your Governor Newsom, you got all these people, okay? They may not come out for defund the police, but they don't want any law and order when it comes to chasing the worst of the illegal criminals who should be deported. I mean, honestly, this is the Democratic position. I think I saw a poll today. The Democratic Party has an approval rating center of 19%. How about those apples? 19%.
It's going to get worse. Can you imagine Minneapolis and Chicago and Detroit and New York, San Francisco, L.A., of social workers being the police? What uniform they're going to wear, first of all, and then are they going to be armed? It will be a total disaster, and it's a disaster waiting to happen. But people believe in this. I don't understand it, but it'll all get straightened out at the end of the day. They're not going to win any of the elections coming up they think they're going to win. And President Trump's going to keep hammering them every day in terms of making sure we take this social justice nonsense out of everything that we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, Senator Tommy Tuberville. As always, sir, thank you for your wisdom. We appreciate it very, very much. All right, folks, coming up here on Kudlow.